third graders, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to be working on our ELA lesson for the week. Our ELA lesson, remember, that includes reading and writing. And today we are going to be working on finding the main idea and the key details in a text. For our writing portion, we're going to write another informational paragraph. What I'm going to have you do this week is I'm going to have you write an informational paragraph about the book that we're about to read together. So this is the book we're going to read. It's an informational text. It's called One Well, The Story of Water on Earth. Now with informational text, we don't always read the whole book at one time because it's a lot of information. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the first couple pages of this book. You can go back and watch the video if you need to find more text evidence for your writing. And we're going to see if we can write about what is the main idea and what are some key details to help us make an informational paragraph about the story of water on Earth. So I'm going to go ahead and use my document camera to start recording so you can see the full page. And we're going to go ahead and read a couple pages, and then we'll come back and I'll talk to you about what your assignment is. All right, third graders, here we are. We're going to read today. The text is called One Well, The Story of Water on Earth. This is written by Rochelle Strausses and illustrated by Rosemary Woods. And the fun thing about this book, this is actually a book we were going to read in our classroom at the end of the year anyway, so we're going to go ahead and just get started on it now. One Well, The Story of Water on Earth. So we're going to start by reading this page. I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit so you can read along with me if you'd like. This is page 4. So if you're looking for text evidence, this page is page 4. I'm going to try and put maybe a page number right up here for you while I'm editing this video so that you can see your text evidence. This is page 4. Okay. One well. Imagine for a moment that all the water on Earth came from just one well. This isn't as strange as it sounds. All water on Earth is connected, so there really is just one source of water, one global well from which we all draw our water. Every ocean wave, every lake, stream, and underground river, every raindrop and snowflake, and every bit of ice and glaciers and polar ice caps is part of this global well. So if you're not sure what a well is, third graders, I want you to think about this word well. When we're talking about water and a well, what could that mean? So a well, when we're thinking about a water well, is a hole in the ground usually that has sometimes a bucket that you can go and you can retrieve water from that well. I'll include a picture of it right here so you can look at what a well looks like. Okay. So imagine all the water in the world. What they're saying here is it's all just from one source. So whether you are turning on a faucet in North America, pulling water from a well in Kenya, or bathing in a river in India, it is all the same water. And because it is all connected, how we treat the water in the well will affect every species on the planet, including us, now and for years to come. Okay. We're going to look at page 5. Earth is the only planet that has liquid water, and is therefore the only planet that can support life. You need water, and so does every other living organism. Every person, every plant, and every animal. Without water, nothing can survive. Oops. The amount of water on Earth hasn't ever changed. It's been the same for billions of years. And this says, the water in the well. I'm going to show you this picture right here. Kind of our solar system. That picture is on page 6. And now we're going to go ahead and read page 7. The water in the well. We live on a watery planet. Almost 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water. This surface water is found in oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, marshes, even in puddles and the morning dew. There is so much water that if you looked down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. But there is also water we can't see, beneath the Earth's surface. This groundwater can be found just about everywhere. It fills the cracks in rocks and the spaces between rocks, grains of sand, and soil. Most groundwater is close to the Earth's surface, but some of it is buried quite deep. Water is also frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps, and there is water in the atmosphere. Every one of these water sources feeds Earth's one well. Where is the water on Earth? So this is a text feature right here that's going to give us some information about where most of the water on Earth can be found. So the oceans have 97.23%. 100% would be all of the water on Earth. So this is 97% of the Earth's water is found in the oceans. And what do we know about that water in the oceans? It is salt water. So that's something interesting to think about as well. Ice caps and glaciers, they contain 2.14% of the water on Earth. Groundwater, that's the water that is just underground that we talked about in this paragraph above, is 0.61% of the water on Earth. Freshwater lakes are 0.009%. Inland saltwater seas are 0.008%. Moisture in the soil is 0.005%. Water in the atmosphere is 0.001%. And rivers are 0.0001%. Yes, there is more water in the atmosphere and the soil than in all of Earth's rivers. That's something really interesting to think about, third graders. And when we're thinking about these percentages, I want you to think about this as 100 being all of the water, so that we can think about that like a dollar. A dollar is 100 pennies. So if you had a dollar to represent all the water on Earth, 97 cents would go into the ocean. 2 cents would go into the ice caps and glaciers, and all of these ones down here are less than a penny. It would be less than a penny. Okay? So most of the water on Earth can be found in the oceans. This book has a lot of more good information that we can read, but we're going to go ahead and stop right here on page 7 for today. This is such an interesting text, isn't it? I loved reading this book, and now that we finished reading the first couple pages, here's what you're going to be thinking about. What was the main idea of the pages that we just read together? Remember, the main idea is what is it mostly about? So I want you to think right now. If you had to come up with a main idea and support it with some text evidence, remember, on page blank, it says blank. What would you say the main idea is about? What is this book about? The title could be a clue. What did it talk about on each page? So just take a minute to think about that. And once you thought about that, I want you to think, what are 2 or 3 key details that were super important about our main idea? Okay, so if you know what our main idea is, what are the details? What are the specific things we learned about our main idea? And the last thing you're going to do is you're going to think about how you could find some text evidence to support it. So remember, if you say your key details are from the text, you have to be able to prove it. So in your writing, you should be able to say, one important thing about water on Earth is, and then in the next sentence, you're going to have your text evidence. Your text evidence is going to show on page blank, it says blank. Now, I know you don't have a copy of this book right in front of you, but what you do have is this video. So you can scroll back. I called out the page numbers while we were reading, so you can go back in the video, find the page number where I mentioned the key detail that you're going to write about. Remember, when we write an informational paragraph, we start by planning. So I'll show you how we are going to plan it. We're going to write our first draft. Remember, we usually skip lines. You're going to go back and revise and edit. Make sure that your words are spelled correctly. Make sure you have vivid words in there to describe. Make sure you have text evidence with page numbers, even though you don't have the book. And once you've revised and edited it, once you're finished revising and editing, you're going to go ahead and write your final copy. Your final copy, you're going to use your neatest handwriting. You're not going to skip lines. And at the end, if you'd like, you could even make a picture to go with it. So I hope you enjoyed hearing the story. I hope that you use this video to go back and find your text evidence. And I hope that you, in your notebooks, write a nice informational paragraph with at least 2 key details, 2 pieces of text evidence, 3 vivid words, okay? And maybe even see if you can throw in a couple transition words if you can remember what those are. Thank you so much for engaging and learning this week, scholars. There's nothing more important during this time than making sure your family is safe and healthy. After your family is safe and healthy, we want to make sure we keep practicing and learning. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being in charge of your learning. That's a very responsible thing to do. And I hope that you are happy and healthy. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much.